So let's talk about Twisted Fun. Yes, this is the Walmart version. I don't even know if I did a review on book one. If I did not, I guess I'll go back and eventually sometime and do a review on book one. I know that I tend to try to do spoiler-free reviews. This one might have some spoilers in it just because I have some thoughts that I really want to give out, some opinions that it is probably going to give a little bit of a spoiler on it, and because it was a spoiler for me. And so I kind of got irritated with the spoiler, if I'm honest with you, and so I'm going to give my opinions on it. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. This one kind of does have a spoiler. It's kind of a spoiler. It's kind of not a spoiler, but it was a spoiler for me, and it did something that when I was reading the book, I was really irritated because I was like, oh my gosh, waiting for this to happen, waiting for this to happen. It irritated the crud out of me. And it's part of the reason I held off reading for this book, because I was like, hey, I'm going to like wait for this to come out, get out of my head, you know, in a way. And it did not get out of my head. Like it didn't matter. I never forgot about it. And the whole time I was reading this dang book, it just was sitting there in the back of my head. And I'm like, when is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? And then when I got to the part in the book, I'm like, wait, why were there so many people up in arms over this? Because this isn't even how it happened in the book. And I'm going to be honest with you. It kind of ruined my experience for this book, because this book, I actually really enjoyed this book. I found it very emotional. I am somebody who enjoys really emotional reads. I'm going to be honest with you. To me, the plot, don't get me wrong, I enjoy plots in books. They're really important to me. But I am somebody who reads for the emotional connection into the book. The writing's important. I don't want to read a book that's like written badly, but if I cannot be emotionally connected in the book, if you're not like have my heart ripped out and I'm not connected emotionally in the book, I'm not going to be into it. Like if I'm not into it emotionally, then I'm just not going to be into it. Like that's just me. I have to be emotionally connected into this book. And my emotions were on a roller coaster. Like I was into this book. It was a lot. There's a lot of emotions involved in this book, and so it was a lot for me. I won't say I was really frustrated at some points with the back and forth. But that is me. I do get sometimes, like, I love the emotional high and the emotional roller coaster of relationships like this. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It is one of my favorite things. I do love being, like I said, I'm an emotional reader. I love that. But at the same time, there's points I like want to scream and shake my book and just yell and be like, oh my God, just work it out already. But yeah, I also love it. So I'm just going to tell you that is something to expect in the book. There is going to be that emotional roller coaster, the back and forth of them, like, do I, don't I, kind of going on. And obviously it's morally gray. A lot of trigger warnings. There's a lot of bad things that happened in her past. So obviously you want to check the trigger warnings. So I'm going to go into my opinions. I'm going to go on to that spoiler. So if you go ahead and scroll away if you do not want that spoiler, or just, I'm going to go right now. So when this book first came out, one of the things somebody had said is, I did not like this book because there is a cheating scene at the end of the book. And I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. But because I loved book one, I was like, oh, I have to read book two because book one was so good. I loved book one. And I was like, nope, I am going to get book two. I like this author. I'm going to get book two. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to get book two. I'm going to do it. And I waited. I was like, I'm just going to wait for the script. I'm sitting here reading the book. I'm reading the book and reading the book. And just like I said, it's sitting in my head. I get to the scene. I wouldn't necessarily call this scene a cheating scene. I guess you can call it a cheating scene. It is not a flipping, to me, it's not a cheating scene. Because one, like I said, spoilers, he agreed to this scene. How is it a cheating scene when he's agreeing to it? At some point, like I said, I'm going to give spoilers. At some point, if he is getting involved in the situation, it is no longer cheating. If he is involved, it is no longer cheating. So you had me. So the book was spoiled for me. I was so upset and working through this book thinking, oh my God, the relationship is going to get ruined. I'm watching this couple fall in love, enjoying watching this relationship develop. I was so into their relationship developing. I was so into their relationship, into the love, everything getting worked up, totally into it. Loving the way that their couple is developing, everything. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to break up. There's something going to happen. You know, is this book even going to have a happily ever after? Like, I'm totally in the back of my head, like, completely worrying about this flippin' scene. And it was not even a bad scene. I want people to know, if you were somebody who held off, like I said, on this book because of that, go ahead, pick it up. It is not, because I know cheating is like a lot of people's, I will not pick up a book if it has to cheat. That's a hard limit for a lot of people. I'm going to be honest with you. And for you to come out here and be like, hey, there was cheating in this book. Not necessarily. Not really. But for me, I don't think it was a cheating situation. Obviously, some people did. I don't know. Anyways, But for me, I feel like it's turning a lot of people away from a book who really might have enjoyed it. And so somebody's like, oh, I wanted to DNF it. It was so bad. And I'm sorry. If you feel that way, you are totally entitled to your feelings. I'm not harping on anybody. Everybody's allowed to their emotions. They're allowed to feel how they feel. A lot of readers who do read, it is a healing journey for them. And so to turn people away in something that might be healing for them, and you don't know people's journeys. You don't know what people have been through. And so, like I said, I'm not trying to harp on them. Like I said, you are entitled to your emotions. You're entitled to your feeling. You're entitled to your thoughts. You're entitled to your opinions. You are entitled to whatever you feel are your thoughts on books. I'm not telling people they can't think, they can't feel whatever they want on their books. That's not what I'm saying. But where it's a dark romance and there's healing situations and there's a lot of things healing in, and you know, in these romances and in their relationships, there's a lot of healing that goes on in these relationships. You don't know what the reader's going through and their path to healing. So in this situation, they may be going through something that is similar in a healing situation. I'm not saying that situation may have been similar healing. You don't know somebody's path. And maybe this situation could have been healing to them. Maybe reading this could have been healing, and they completely missed out on a situation that could have been healing. And so I guess my thing is not only could a book have been ruined or like gone through a situation that I went through in the whole book and they're frustrated, or it could have been a whole like healing journey that someone could have missed out on. But we need to be more careful on this app with our spoilers because, like I said, obviously I ran into it. I was not forewarned the first time I heard all the spoilers on this book. After that, I kind of just scrolled through and I was like, well, everything's pretty much been spoiled for me anyway, so I might as well flip and listen. And I heard it, like I said, from several people after that point. But to me, it's just, I think we need to be more careful because we don't know what people have been through in their lives. We don't know what is going on. And more considerate of our other readers and let's try not to ruin books for our fellow book talkers. Like I said, I'm not trying to complain because I had a book ruined for me. Yes, I'm frustrated, but I'm not just frustrated for myself. I'm frustrated for like other readers who may be going through something similar, or I'm frustrated also for somebody who may have like experienced and not gone through their healing journey. I don't know. Like I said, I am somebody who really advocates for others. That is just somebody who I am. I don't deal with people who are bullies. And like I said, that is something that I am working on because I have been a really quiet people pleaser. Anybody who knows me is I've been very quiet on this app. I have and I tried to keep my reviews more quiet and kind of out of the limelight because I was like, hey, I'm just going to stay quiet. I'm going to keep everything quiet and just professional and keep like my opinions to myself and just keep it easy and really just bing, bang, boom. And the truth is, I don't do well with bullies. I don't do well with a lot of things, and I just zip it and quiet, but I am actually very, very opinionated. And the only person who usually hears it is my husband and my children. And so now I think some of you guys are going to hear a little more, and some of you may appreciate that. Some of you actually may not, and probably will end up unfollowing me and just be like, oh my God, this girl is a handful. I cannot deal with her. Or some of you may be like, hey, I like that she actually stands up for shit. But whatever. Love this book. I hope others do too. Like I said, it's book 2. If you have not read book 1, you probably need to read book 1 first. I mean, obviously it's a standalone. You could read it without book 1. I would recommend reading book 1 first because it's going to give away spoilers to book 1. I think it'll be a smoother intro, smoother transition into it if you read book 1 first. But to each their own. There is several versions of this one out with the sprayed edges, but it is also available on Kindle Unlimited. There is an audio version of it done as well. I did immersive read this one because I am an immersive reader. I prefer to read immersively. I get really into the books if I listen to the audio and read at the same time. That is just who I am. I really enjoy it that way. Or sometimes I have IIH, so if my head is pounding, there's times I will just listen and not read, or there's times I just take a break and let the audiobook go while I do a little bit of cleaning and then go back to reading. I mean, and do both at the same time. It just depends how I'm feeling at that time. Like I kind of go back and forth. But anyways, so you can physically own it. It's on ebook, it's on Kindle Unlimited, or you can just listen to an audiobook. Like I said, I recommend the audiobook. It is good. Or you can own the physical copy or you can ebook it. Do whatever you want. I liked it and I think maybe you might too.